you said something which indicates a very serious problem. You said there are secrets between you and your principal that you can't explain. You are not entitled to keep secrets to your owners. NNPC is 100% owned by the Nigerian masses. So it's not like a typical company like a Dangote who can say, this is my business. It is our business. And we are elected by the people. You are not. And we have mandate from the electorate to detail everything that belongs to them that was entrusted to NNPC to manage. So when you say you want to see NNPC again, I was going to say you want to do a receipt. You want to do a review of your old findings. So what are those secrets that you cannot divulge? You have to reconcile with your principal. That is very pregnant, that statement. And so, just like the chairman said, and distinguished Senator Auditor Dafinone said, I will imagine that before you classify what ought to have accrued, you will identify who is supposed to pay what. And if there are indebtedness, you are supposed to be able to identify indebted to who that constitute this sum. And I also want to believe that in arriving at this summary, you had interaction with NNPC. You don't just cook out number, you will ask for explanations. It is when you are not satisfied. And I want to believe that the time you came to these conclusions about these debtors and receivables, you have had this benefit of question and answer between you and what you call your principals. So, Mr. Chairman, sir, for me, you need to explain the meaning of secrets. I need to be reminded that he's not entitled to keep secrets. No, not before us.
Okay. It will come to you. Just brief, because it's a very straightforward issue. Yes.
Around. I rely on Order 5 of our Rule Book 2026 that gives this committee, beyond even the constitutional provision, our rule book also mandates us to demand and to take and to call anybody to appear before the committee and furnish the committee any information that will help the committee in doing its job. Beside that, Mr. Auditor, sir, you owe it a duty to yourself and to the Nigerian that are keenly watching these proceedings to explain and to give accurate and timeous information in respect of these figures. Maybe you are not familiar with the mindset and the narrative out there, but it is our responsibility here to unravel the circumstances behind those figures. And I'm not sure from my years in the civil service if there is any NDA clause in any relationship between client and auditor relationship, a non-disclosure agreement. There is none. And most, even if there is, this committee has the power. And I read to you, with the leave of the chairman, the portion that relates to the work of this committee. It says, the responsibility of the Public Accounts Committee, Section A, 5A, to examine the accounts showing the appropriation of the sums granted by the Senate to meet the public expenditure, together with the auditor's report thereon. The committee shall, for the purposes of discharging that duty, have the power to send for any person papers and records to report from time to time to the Senate and to sit, notwithstanding the adjournment of the Senate. Section B further said the committee shall have power to examine any accounts, any, or report of statutory corporations and boards. NNPC is a statutory corporation, so it falls under this purview. after they have been laid on the table for the Senate, and to report thereon from time to time to the Senate, and to sit notwithstanding the adjournment of the Senate. I think as a corporate entity, for institutional integrity and for the integrity of the company you are representing, it is important that this information be availed to this committee for clarity and for the Nigerian people to know the truth. And Mr. Chairman, I so submit, and I think we cannot go backward on this point. Thank you, sir.
I think it's very straightforward. Well, short.
Powers as to matters of evidence. One of our colleagues mentioned just now the rules of the Senate with respect to investigation. Now, for the purposes of any investigation under Section 88 of this Constitution and subject to the provisions thereof, the Senate or the House of Representatives or a committee appointed in accordance with Section 65 of this Constitution shall have power to procure all such evidence, written or oral, direct or circumstantial, as it may think necessary or desirable, and to examine all persons as witnesses whose evidence may be material or relevant to the subject matter. Now, if you are not satisfied with the rules of the Senate, this is a constitutional provision.
So, Auditor, I think you are sufficiently educated. So,
Yes.
The auditors could not explain the numbers on the financial statement. And from that time till today, those companies are wound up. They are all wind up. They are not there. And it's because of an interaction between the parliament and the auditors. So we don't want to reach those points. We don't want to reach that point. Payables. The payables are made of X, Y, Z, this one, 107 trillion. Give us. Receivables. X, Y, Z, this one, 103 trillion. Give us. Within 1 week. As the chair pleases.
Thank you. Correct.
And for information of the public, you know, they kept on saying missing. We never said it's missing. Unaccountable. Unexplained. You know? And when we are merging the 103 and 107, that is why we are saying 210. One is debit, one is credit. You know? But when the two cannot be explained, we say a total of this amount cannot be explained. Thank you very much. So, 1 week, you are hereby discharged.
So for today's side.